Hi guys, welcome to another movie review episode, and today we're talking about the current buzz of the town, the movie Water Garri.
There's no place like home. There's no place on earth that can make me happy,
Some of us can't just run away like you.
anxious, and physically sick.
Water Garri is a movie produced by Tiwa Savage, which was inspired by a 2021 EP of the same title, and it was directed and shot by one of Nigeria's finest, Meji Alabi.
Why didn't you call? You just left. No goodbyes, no nothing.
I was confused.
Are you the only one that felt pain?
While Tiwa's musical prowess is unquestionable, our venture into the movie industry leaves a lot to be desired. Or should we say, Tiwa is actually a victim of our own standards. Water Garri is a 1 hour 20 minutes movie which features big personalities like Tiwa Savage herself, Michael Flaring, Andrew Bunting, Jemima Osunde, amongst others. So the movie centers around a young thriving fashion designer, Aisha, played by Tiwa Savage, on a path to finding destiny, but still struggles with memories of her past and childhood. Even though she's been gone for 10 years, a lot of things still remind her of her past, and it's always holding her back.
Aisha, you were gone for 10 years. 10 years.
So much about this place I'm trying to forget.
It is one of tragedy and which plots around loss of a dear one, Trench's lifestyle, and gangsterism. And people who have actually had similar situation can actually easily connect to this particular movie. To make this video short, I'm going to be splitting this review into two, and then we jump straight right into our scorecard. The first part of the video is going to be where I'm talking about things I like about the movie, that is things I feel that they actually did right. And the second part is going to be things that I do not exactly like about the movie, not necessarily things that they didn't do well. They are just things that personally I was not satisfied with the movie. Talking about the things I like, the first thing is the story. Personally, I think it's actually a great story. Regardless of what people have been saying online, I think it's actually a great story. It's a story that a lot of people can actually connect to, people that have been in trenches before, a lot of people in Africa generally. Let me just say that it's actually good, but I've pretty much said much of the story earlier in the video. The second thing I like about this particular movie is the cinematography. I think this is the best thing they had going on for this movie. I mean, the cinematography was great. It was on 100, from the camera angles to the shots to the directing of the whole video, the picture quality and everything. I mean, it was a masterpiece. It was great. Another thing I liked about the movie is the soundtrack. I mean, the soundtrack was dope. It looked as though Tiwa Savage was trying to release a musical album, but she spinned it around a movie. Two of the soundtracks particularly got my attention, and I've added them to my favorite playlist. The first one is Common Up, which she featured Olamide Bado, and the second one is Kilimanjaro, which she featured Black Sheriff. Now, talking about the things that I didn't like about the movie, the first thing I would say is the setting. The first thing I spotted in the movie was the setting of the movie, and being a Nigerian that I am, I could easily detect that movie was not shot in Nigeria. I didn't need to actually check on Google to check the locations in which the movie was shot rather, but I could tell that movie was not shot in Nigeria. And honestly, location does not really matter when it comes to movie production, but I noticed a lot of disparity between the kind of characters we're trying to portray and the location they used. Let me not even talk about their lingua or their accents. It was totally different, especially their pidgin English. It was not even sounding like Nigeria at all. It was not sounding like that of Nigeria at all, and I think that was a kind of turn off for me. The second thing I didn't like about the movie was the story execution. The movie actually started with a captivating scene, but which didn't really live up to the expectations. You understand? It was kind of high, but then just died all of a sudden. And that was not good enough. Then when you talk about the pace of the movie was moving from slow to medium, and then it's when they taught a notch high at a particular point, and the intensity of the movie actually went high, and I thought, yes, we're here already, and all of a sudden they watered down the whole thing, and I was highly disappointed. To be honest, I was highly disappointed. Also, I noticed that they tried applying the red herring technique in movie production, which is basically the plot twist, and to me the plot twist was not actually twisting, because somehow because I've watched a lot of movies, I could actually tell the end from the beginning. Somehow I detected that this was what was going to happen in the movie.
Aisha, this is not the same town you left behind.
The third thing I didn't like about the movie is the acting. I think this is where they killed the movie. a lot of the actors did not live up to expectations, and they did a pretty bad job when it comes to the acting, except for two people, which are Mike Afolarin. Shout out to this guy, he absolutely killed his role. And then Lloyd Gianfosu, we played the Ghanaian guy that played the younger version of K. Those two guys were fantastic in the execution of their roles. I must say, they literally carried the movie on their backs. Now, the fourth thing I didn't like about the movie is their wardrobe. There is a lot to be said about this wardrobe. I don't know, because I was not there when they were producing this movie, so I cannot say what they had in mind as the costumier. But I noticed we're talking about an African movie here, and most of these guys were dressing like gangsters from Jamaica, and which was not giving the African vibe. You understand? And I think there was a little bit of sprinkling of nudity left, right, and center, especially from Tiwa Savage herself. And I think it was quite unnecessary in the movie. But overall, that's just it. I was not really satisfied with the wardrobe, and it was getting me confused. We're in an African setting, and most of these guys were dressed up in Jamaican style, like the Caribbean ladies and all of that, all those kind of things, and it wasn't really sitting well with me. Now let us talk about our scorecard. So the overall rating on our scorecard goes thus: cinematography, we'll give them a 1. In directing, we'll give them an 0.7. In editing, we'll give them an 0.9. In plot twist, that is the storyline, we'll give them an 0.8. In storytelling, we'll give them an 0.5. In story execution, an 0.5 as well. In suitability for the audience, we'll give them an 0.4. In terms of acting, we'll give them 0.5. In terms of the music, we'll give them a 0.8. And last but not the least, the theme of the movie, we'll give them an 0.7. So overall on our scorecard, this movie has a rating that is an average rating of 6.8 over 10, which to me, honestly speaking, I think isn't bad for a movie. And personally, I think this movie would have made a lot of sense if it was a documentary. Apologies for that if it hurts anybody, but that's just my honest opinion. For those who are yet to see the movie, it is available on Prime Videos. And for those who have seen it, are you going to still hold on to your rating, or you're going to readjust after listening to the whole breakdown that we've given you today? Kindly let me know in the comment section below. See you some other time. Thank you.